Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Loaves and Letters and I'm doing a knitting podcast today. First of all, I'd like to begin today by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which I filmed today, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and to pay my respects to their elders past and present. I extend this respect to Aboriginal and Torres Islander peoples who may be watching. It's a beautiful spring day here in Melbourne, nice and breezy, lots of pollen for those of us who suffer from hay fever. It's just sort of a come as you are kind of an episode, whether you're knitting or washing the dishes or having a cup of something cozy. You're welcome to stay here a little while and see what things I've been knitting on recently. There's a lot. I haven't been here for a few months, but yeah, I went to the gym this morning, so I'm kind of shiny and I don't have anything cozy on because as I said, it's a nice and warm day here in Melbourne, but I thought I would check in and just show off some of the things that I've been making and share with you and hopefully get some inspiration to, let me know what you're making and I'll get into it. I'm just out of practice, that's okay. First thing I have that I've reached for is just a little scrap yarny project. This is a crochet bag. If you'd like to know the details, I got the tutorial from a YouTube video online. If you want, let me know, comment below and I will find the link for you. But my friend made a blue version of this and I made a pink version just from yarn scrappy bits I had. And like these granny squares have been amazing for scrap yarn that I've been wanting to use up. I'm meant to be on a low buy this year. I'll let you know how that's going later on. But yeah, this was a great little stash buster. I use 8-ply yarn, probably like a 4 or 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. And I use single crochet just to piece all the pieces together. I don't think I've cut off all my ends, but I can do that at some point. But yeah, it's just a fun bag and you can kind of tie it like this and hold it like this. And my daughter uses it to bring toys to the playground and things like that. So yeah, little fun baggie, just made of little flower granny squares. So that is project number one. There's going to be lots of finished objects in this, and let me show you the biggest one next. Actually, this is the Blossom and Buds crochet along blanket by Lottie and Albert, also known as Lindsay Noons. It was the Cedar Spring Make Along. She has a new one out, a gingerbread one, but seeing as it is summer here in Melbourne, I don't know how a seasonal gingerbread house, really cute, really stinking cute blanket, it probably won't be used much during the heat of summer here in Melbourne, so decided to give that one a miss. But I am so glad I finished. I don't know how well you're seeing this. There's probably better photos on my Instagram, but yeah, so glad this is done. The border was a little bit hard to finish because it changes color at the corner, so I was doing a lot of like cutting and starting new colors at the very end. So as you can see, there's lots of different colors here in the corner of the border. But yeah, I did the scallop edging all the way around. I think in the pattern there's an option to do pom-poms, but I like the neatness of the scallops, so we did that. And I did most of it during the crochet along. I think it was a 6-week period, but then the border sort of stalled a little bit. But yeah, so nice, and it adds so much color to our living room. And it's not a huge blanket, it's probably more like a kid-sized blanket, but like it's enough to put over your lap when you're watching TV. And that is made out of 100% cotton that I bought from Wool Warehouse. I think it's like the James C. Brett DK weight cotton. And I have a lot of that left over, so I'm trying to figure out what sort of projects I can do with that, probably more granny squares. And speaking of granny squares, I just put together a little doll blanket, which no one really uses. I thought they would play with it more, but it looks nice on the toy cabinet, so that's fine too. Just something pretty. I really like the scallops. I did a closed granny square, just 2 rounds. I had like a pack of 8-ply luxury wool yarn from Bendigo Wool and Mills Backroom, and I paired it with this 8-ply wool, also from Bendigo Wool and Mills, the pink, to make this sort of colour scheme. And I thought it was really cute. I really like the colours together, and I really wanted, I think I was inspired, I saw like doll blankets at the Bendigo Wool and Sheep show a couple of months ago, and I wanted to recreate that, but I didn't take a picture and I couldn't find it online, so I just sort of like made it up from my head. I made all the granny squares separately, and then I sewed them together with like an invisible, I think it's called mattress stitch or something, or maybe whip stitch. Join them all together and then put a scallop border on the edging. And I think it's really cute, like a placemat or just like somewhere nice to put the toys when the kids aren't playing with them. This is my newest finished object, and it is a little duck. It is from the book Moosh and Friends by Cynthia Vallée. Probably one of my favourite knitting books that I have at the moment. I really want to start the squirrel next, cast on energy, like I said. But this is Nana Duck, and she is wearing a rainbow dress. The yarn is a Gradation Road Wool and Mills yarn. It's a salt and pepper. I think it's called something like Bella, but it's a combination of wool and alpaca, so it has a little bit of like a fuzz on her head. I really want to make her like a little bucket hat as well, and maybe even an apron. But yeah, she has this really cute beak. I used Drop Snored in this orangey colour for her beak, and she has 3 little tail feathers. And yeah, my daughter is just in love with her, so I think I did a pretty good job. It's so fun to just knit it all in one piece as per the pattern, and I used the 2mm needles. The only thing is I probably should have I stuffed her head quite firmly, but then her neck is, I thought it was okay, but after a bit of play she's had a few tumbles and rough cuddles and things like that. It's starting to be a little bit wobbly, so I don't know what I'll do. Maybe I'll just try to massage down some of the stuffing from her head into her neck. But yeah, next time I'll try to reinforce that a little bit more. There's no stuffing in her wings, but she does have little cute fat feet. Yeah, so super cute. In love. I've made Moosh the bear and now Nana the lady duck, and I can't wait to make more. Squirrel is next. Moving on to garments or little kids clothes. Should we do this first? This is a storm sweater that I knit in a week. I really wanted my little one to wear it at the Bendigo Wool and Sheep show, so I used Bendigo Wool and Mills. It's called Fairy Tale. I think the yarn is like Prism. It's 100% wool. It's their new colour changing yarn. I really fell in love with these colours. It's got like a pinky purple shade through it, and then there's like a darker and a lighter shade of green. This is the pattern Storm sweater by Petite Knit, and I just love the oversizedness. The 1x1 rib and the folded over collar, and the texture was so fun. It's almost like rhythmic to follow the chart and do all these fun textures, and you can probably see it more on the lighter coloured yarn. I already have bought some pink yarn to make a bigger version of this, so at some point that will get done. But yeah, it took me 1 week and a lot of knitting. Like, I was knitting non-stop for like a week. I don't know if I would recommend doing that again, but it was very satisfying to finish that. For my older kid, this is the Petite Souffle, but like in the bigger size, like size 9 to 10. By the way, that one was probably size around like 2, 3, something like that. But this is the bigger size, 9 to 10. Also in Bendigo Wool and Mills, 100% luxury yarn in the colour Boysenberry. And yeah, it's very wearable. I made it a bit long. I think I went through a phase of I want to use all my yarn, and I bought 2 balls of this, so it was like 400 grams of yarn. So I was like, let's just make this like a long warm sweater, which is like a nice idea in theory, but I feel like it would have looked cuter if it was a bit more cropped. So something to note if I make this again, which I probably could. Maybe I could make like the smallest size, like the baby size, because I have a lot of baby knitting coming up. And I need to buy some baby yarn for that, but I don't know how that fits into my no buy / low buy, which, to be honest, I'll give you a little update, hasn't been going extremely well. I mean, I haven't impulse bought yarn, but I haven't not bought yarn, because things like when I go traveling, we went to Sydney for a little bit and I bought some little bits and pieces up in Sydney, and obviously I bought yarn at the Bendigo Wool and Meal show, and I have bought some yarn to finish off other projects. I made a crochet bag, which hopefully I'll be able to show you. My auntie is putting fabric lining in it at the moment, so I made one bag for her and one bag for me, 2 granny square bags, so hopefully you'll see those in an upcoming episode. But yeah, I'm just trying to quickly whiz through these finished objects so you can see. But these are the Erica socks from the 52 Weeks of Socks book, volume 1. And it has a lovely lace pattern. I don't know if you'll be able to see this properly. These are fresh from the wash. I have worn them a few times. The yarn is Bendigo Wool and Mills. They had new sock yarn, which was really exciting, in the back room, and it was only like $10.50 for a 100 gram ball, and I think it's slightly thicker because you can tell from the ball size that it's like bigger than normal sock yarn. So it must be like either a thicker gauge, but the feel is more like a what's that brand? It's more hardy, a little bit rougher, not as smooth as like hand dyed yarn. Regia or Regia yarn, the sock yarn. So if you can imagine that, or an opal sock yarn, it feels kind of like that. But the color is mauve, I believe, mauve, and the stitch definition is really, really nice. Like the pattern on this came out. This is my first lace pair of socks, so it's not perfect, but I had a lot of fun making it, and it's like the perfect length for me. Not too long, not too short for the leg. And then I sort of, because I did another repeat, my feet aren't that big, so I had to rapidly decrease for the toe, but that's fine. I think it worked out. And I can't see, there is a bit of pilling, but nothing major. With this type of rougher yarn, it doesn't pill as easily, which I really like, and it just feels more hardy in general. But yeah, I modified the stitch count and the needle size a little bit from the pattern, because I think it would have been too loose for my foot. But yeah, I did the smaller size, and then I think I might have gone down to like 2.25 millimeter needles or something like that to get it to fit. But yeah, really cute, recommend. It wasn't a completely mindless knit, obviously, but it wasn't challenging either for my first sort of pair of lace knit socks, and I haven't done much lace knitting, so yeah, would recommend if you're sort of like an intermediate knitter and want to make a pair of lace socks for the first time. But yeah, looking around, that looks like all of the finished objects I have for you. There's some other things I've made, but you know, I just sort of pulled out what I could see. And I have some works in progress. Do I have a pair of socks flying about somewhere, but I've lost my mojo on that. I also have starting to lose mojo on this one, to be honest, but it is a prism blanket pattern that I've modified to be a pillowcase cover. I thought I measured correctly and did the mats correctly, but I think it's gonna be too big for the pillowcase, which is fine. Maybe we'll just have like a saggy, baggy, cozy pillowcase still. It might shrink over time. It is all made of scrap wool. I'm really into the scrappy projects. Yeah, I just sort of made the squares as per the instructions. I'm using like an average 8-ply wool, using 3.5 millimeter needles for it, and I increase up to 31 stitches, and so 31 stitches is my max stitch count, and followed the instructions. It is a free pattern by Pearl Soho, and the prison blanket looks so good. So I wanted to recreate that sort of a look in scrap yarn. So I've got a whole basket of scrap yarn that I want to use in that, but I'm sort of like, I think because it's too big, it's sort of like not as motivating to finish anymore. And because this is so cute, I want to cast on a little squirrel guy. We've also got so many babies in our life, which is so cute. Babies that are coming into our lives soon, so I want to get started on some baby knitting, so I'll have to go do some stash diving for that, or make another purchase from Wool Warehouse, but I might hold off till I have like a sale on Drops Yarn or something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That was a lot, and I hope you enjoyed seeing what I've been up to. I hope I can knit some more. I think I was like flipping between being like a monogamous knitter and like someone with lots of projects on at the same time, but now that I'm sort of in a bit of a lull with my motivation in knitting, I thought I'd come on here and show you what I've done so that I could recap on all the lovely things I have and try to figure out what I'm going to knit on next. But because my little one enjoys this duck so much, I really want to start a squirrel for her, and then maybe like a swancho. I saw, like, we were sorting baby clothes the other day, and I saw like one of the store-bought swanchos, and it was so cute. The shape was so cute. I couldn't really find a pattern like that. Let me know if you know of any. Maybe because I was only looking at free patterns, but it's like a sweater, but then the shape of the body ends in like a U shape. That would be really cute to make. So yeah, I don't know, do you guys plan out your knits, or do you just sort of cast on whenever and whatever the mood strikes you? I'm feeling a little bit lost, to be honest. And I think I just need to keep making and if I need to keep casting on, then I'll do that, because I know it can get overwhelming, but I mean, it's for me, right? And I just need to do whatever feels right in the moment and right for this stage of life that I'm in. And if that means I need to try to plan some things out and also impulse cast some things on, or if it means I need to go stash diving to find some baby yarn to make these baby knits. I have a lot of this like blue, not a lot. I have 2 balls, but they're different yarns, but they're very similar, like 4-ply baby merino that I buy because I love making like little beanies for the new babies in our lives. So maybe I'll make a couple of those. Yeah, I don't know, I'm a bit confused, but that's okay, because things like this turn out like magic, like a ball of yarn into like the cutest little duck in the world. I just can't. But yeah, thanks for joining me today. I hope I will see you soon. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know if you have any questions. I know I sort of whizzed through that a little bit fast, but that's just where we are right now. So yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.